This is the complete works of Newcastle's trip to Baku, where they beat Karabakh 6-1 in the playoff game in the Champions League. First leg, second leg to come at St James's Park next week. And enjoy the match series set of videos. I'm Ken, and this is Inside The Toon. HOWE, the lads. Eddie and the team arrived in Carabao safely, and it was a smooth flight apparently, and he's held his press conference already, so let's hear what he had to say. I'm Ken, and this is Inside The Toon. Eddie's press conference next. See what he had to say. And first of all, the exciting news is that Big Joe Linton is back, thankfully. He's been out nearly a month since his knock against Villa at home, so it's great news. Apparently he trained yesterday and trained well, and he's feeling really good. So Eddie went on to say we're going to play our strongest team in the sense that we will try to win the game. There'll be no thinking of the schedule ahead. This game in isolation is hugely important. Get in. So Lewis Miley, he's still out. He's making good progress. We're quite happy with the progress he's making. He's had several scans. It came from a knock, which seemed quite strange, but just a really bad dead leg that gave some muscle disruption. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'd like to see, personally, I'd like to see Lewis back as soon as possible. Obviously, that's not going to be the case with Bruno. He's out for the following few weeks, at least till probably end of March. And the medical team are working on him. And he's going this week with the Brazilian national team, and then he'll come back to us for the last 4 weeks. Really sad news for Emil Kraft. He's out for the season, basically, unlikely to come back. And it's a real blow to us, Eddie said. John Ruddy's been added to the 25 Champions League squad. And we'll have to wait and see. Emil picked this up, the problem, back on international duty. So that's another dagger in our back from the internationals earlier in the season. On the flight to Baku, he said we took it in our stride. It was a smooth flight, and it was a good one. So yeah, hey ho. Eddie was asked what he knew about our opponents, Karabakh, and he said, well, I've watched a lot of them in the build-up to this game, and I watched both their games against Liverpool and Chelsea. The Liverpool scoreline was not reflective of the game at all. They made a really good, bright start, had several chances, were really threatening with the ball, and showed that the high technical level. So they've got some dangerous players, he went on to add. On looking to reach the last 16, Eddie had quite a bit to say. Of course, it means everything to us, the history of the club. This is a new opportunity for us to get to the last 16 of this competition. Would be an incredible achievement. There's a real excitement with this game, and the travel and the number of supporters we're bringing. It's all set to be a great occasion. Of course, we have to do our bit. We have to bring our A game, and we have to approach the game in the right way in terms of our attitude, and I know we will, said Eddie. And that was Eddie's press conference in a brief few minutes. Some fun facts or interesting facts from UEFA.com. Carabao are winless in their previous 9 UEFA meetings with English opponents. However, to this is Newcastle have only won 2 of the last 15 UEFA away matches, drawing 8 and losing 5. They finished with a record of 1 win, 2 draws and 1 defeat from such fixtures in the league phase. And this is our maiden voyage in the Champions League knockout phase. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe if you're on YouTube, hit the follow button if you're on TikTok, and come back for more, because Eddie's team news video vlog will be next out. Away the lads. Welcome back. This is your match day program for Newcastle away in Baku where they're facing Karabakh in the Champions League playoff. Wednesday, 5:45 UK time kickoff. I'm Ken and this is Inside The Toon. So a little bit about Karabakh first. Baku is where they play their games now. Domestically, they've been one of the biggest teams in their country, winning their Premier League 12 times, making them the most successful club in recent years. They've also won the cup multiple times as well. Football-wise, they've become a regular in European competitions, and they were the first club in their country to do so, to reach the Champions League group stage. And they've appeared there multiple times since. Newcastle's had some tough challenges recently, especially away, losing to Man City in the League Cup. But he banks back with a league win at Spurs, and then the fantastic win in the FA Cup fourth round at the weekend against Aston Villa at Villa Park, no doubt. Quick summary then. So we played the last 6 games, win 2, drew 1, lost 3, scored 10 and let in 13. But in the last 2 matches, that's just 2 goals and we've scored 5. So we're on the up. So looking at Karabakh's Champions League form, their last match day 8 was away at Anfield. Liverpool lost 6-0. But before that, they beat Frankfurt at home 3-2, a very good win. Lost at home to Ajax 4-2. Away to Napoli in Italy 2-0. And then Chelsea at home 2-2. And Athletic Club from Spain they went to and they lost 3-1. So they've had a decent time of it in the Champions League, although obviously losing. So looking at the talking points around Newcastle in the last few days, obviously injuries crippling us and stopping us from really doing much rotation, if any at all. Bruno's out for 8 weeks, and that's a big loss, losing our captain. He's gone back to Brazil to recover and get well with his family. Joe Linton is close to returning apparently, and he's eager to play, but we'll have to wait to see what Eddie says in his press conference. We don't want to underestimate Karabakh. They can play. They've shown they can score goals, and they've shown they can compete to a certain extent if you ignore the 6-0 at Liverpool. FA Cup progress in the 5th round tie. Manchester City again at home, so there is hope for us. And then the PIF owners are planning this multi-club model, and the reason behind that is they want to be able to attract all the young players to the academies in these clubs and then feed the best through to Newcastle over a period of time, which is basically what Chelsea and Manchester City have been doing for a few years now. So those are the main talking points for today. A few others on the list which you can read and we'll talk about next time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, then hit the like button. Subscribe if you wish to see more, absolutely free. And next up will be my predictions or Eddie's press conference, whichever comes first. So here we are, prediction time. And Newcastle away in Baku in the Champions League playoff against Karabakh. 5:45 UK time kickoff, Wednesday, February the 18th. So let's see what team and what score I predicted. As usual, it's hard to predict what team Eddie will put out. I've gone for something slightly familiar and slightly different. Due to the injuries, rotation isn't a great option unless Eddie brings in a couple of the youngsters, which I'm unsure about still. He's not done that so far this season. So I've gone for Pope. It could be Ramsdale. Back four, the normal back four, Trippier, Chow, Burn, Hall. Midfield of Ramsey, Tonali, Willock. In front of them will be Big Nick. And then up front will be Elanga and Sulla, giving us the pace. I've kept my powder dry as far as Barnes and Gordon are concerned. I think they'll be really useful at the Etihad on Saturday, and I'd like them to be fresh for it. So score-wise, and do not put your house or shirt on this. Invariably, I am wrong. However, I have a little bit of fun doing this, and I've had the odd score correct. Correct score, correct. So 2-2. And if we do a really good job, a controlled job, then we win 2-0. And we walk away with a 2-goal advantage. Predicted goal scorers, Big Nick, coming in from behind of Sulla and Elanga, knocking it down or tapping it in. And then one of Burns' set pieces, this time Trippier being the supplier. Karabakh are generally high-tempo team in the first 20 to 30 minutes. Lots of width and plenty of shots from range, so we have to be on our mettle at the beginning of this match. So 2-2, folks, or 2-0 to the Toon. So that's the prediction video. If you enjoyed it, then hit the like button, please. It does help with the algorithm, both on YouTube and on TikTok. And also subscribe on YouTube and follow on TikTok so that you can see more of this as we progress through the season and this tie away in Baku. Enjoy the match. Eddie's named his team, so let's take a look at who he's chosen to start this evening against Karabakh in the Champions League. A quick look at the injury updates prior to looking at the team. So Tino's out, Shah's out, Sven's out, Johan Visser's out, Lewis Miley's out, and obviously Bruno as well. And Kraft is out for the season. One booking away from suspension is Malik Chow, Dan Burn, and Joe Linton, who is back tonight, folks. So here we go, folks. Quite an attacking team. Pope in goal, back for Trippier, Chow, Burn, and Hall. Midfield, Tonali, Willock, and then it's maybe Big Nick, or maybe Gordon. Who knows? Barnes, Gordon, Elanga. There's three, and then Big Nick might be in the midfield. I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. On the bench, three goalies: Ruddy, Ramsdale, and Harris. Joe Linton's back, thankfully, from his injury. Osula, Jacob Murphy, Alex Murphy, Ramsey, Sahar, and Neve. So bit of a mix here, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure what formation this will turn out to be. 4-2-4? Who knows? Attack them, get the goals, come home, and have an easy second leg, shall we? Enjoy the game. So that's Eddie's team. Our away record in the Champions League over the last couple of seasons is kind of mixed. We drew at AC Milan. We lost it in Dortmund. We drew to PSG where we should have won, cheated by the referee, of course. And this season, USG, we won 4-0. Marseille, we lost 2-1. Bayern Leverkusen, we drew 2-2. And then PSG, again, this season, 1-1. Well, we could have won that as well. So let's see what happens tonight. Fingers crossed we come away with a couple of goals lead. What has been quite an amazing first half, Newcastle lead 5-0 in Baku against Karabakh. Anthony Gordon has scored 4, including 2 penalties, and this is how it happened. Newcastle went to it. Gordon scored. Burn passes through to Gordon, who slides it into the far corner of the net, and the crowd go wild. What a start. And does it get better? Yes, it does. In the 8th minute, Chow rose at the far post and heads it into the net. 2-0. Get in. From this point onwards, Newcastle were rampant. Every attack felt like we were going to score. We must have had 6 or 7 shots in this time. Barnes has had at least 3 that I can see and remember. And then in the 30th minute, there's a check for a handball after both Barnes and Willock attempted to score. And it was from Barnes's attempt that the handball was given. I don't like the handball rule, but it is the rule, so we'll take it. Gordon steps up and scores 3-0. And virtually from the restart, the ball goes backwards. Gordon presses and takes it off of the foot of the defender who had made a mistake, and then puts it in the net, of course, 4-0. And Anthony Gordon's got his hat-trick. Elanga is fouled for the second time in a few minutes, right up on the touchline in line with the penalty box. And Elanga takes a free kick. Burn rises, heads it straight into the arms of the goalie. Could have been 5-0. Another corner. Tonali takes it. The goalie punches it out. Corner again. At this point, the ref feels sorry for the goalkeeper and gives a foul after a Chow challenge. But Gordon's in. The goalkeeper brings him down in the 44th minute. Penalty. Easy decision for the ref. Gordon steps up. He scores his 10th goal in 9 games, 5-0 to the Toon. Bit of a dispute between Tripper and Gordon who should take it, but Gordon is the designated penalty taker, and that's how it should stay on the field. Gets in. So in summary, as you can see from the attack momentum chart, we're blue, and there's 5 goals. What a start. Be interesting to see what Eddie does at half-time, whether he takes some players off and keeps them for the Man City match on Saturday evening. But let's look forward to the second half and a couple more goals. I'm greedy. Newcastle ran out 6-1 winners eventually. It was like the Lord Mayor's show in the second half. Carabao scored in about the 54th, 55th minute, and we got a late goal. We could have had more. However, job done. 3 away wins on the bounce. And Man City on Saturday evening at 8 p.m. So here are my notes. Enjoy the report. I'm Ken, and this is Inside the Toon. Newcastle came out in the second half at walking pace, to be honest. They did wake up slightly when Carabao scored in the 54th minute to make it 5-1 on the night. But after that, Pope made a few good saves, and we scored in the 72nd minute. Murphy had come on earlier in the 67th minute. He cut in and shoots, slight deflection, and it's 6-1 in the net. Get in. All smiles is Murphy scored on the evening. Chow got booked in the 76th minute, which I believe means he will miss the return leg due to the number of yellow cards he's got. And Joe Linton came back from his injury and came on for Trippier in the 77th minute. 78th minute, Big Nick was fouled, pushed down from behind. A great move followed with started and created by Ramsey to Barnes, who lost it under his feet, unfortunately. Bit of good defending and running back from Murphy in the 80th minute. Then in the 85th minute, Hall dribbles it along the touchline and beats about 5 Carabao players until he just runs out of space. Neve comes on in the 88th minute. He's 18 years old. What a game to make your debut in Europe. 90th minute, Neve crosses, and it's headed out by Chow, close to an assist for him. And then the young lad, Murphy, to a Sulla, crosses. And it's either just behind Neve or it went through his legs. I'm not sure. Unlucky. Nearly on the score sheet tonight. The ref blows for the end of the game, 6-1 to Newcastle. So for the record, this was the UEFA Champions League knockout stage playoff round. First leg away to Carabao. 5-0 up at half-time with the Toon. And 6-1 eventually. Get in. So the attack momentum chart. First half all blue, except for one bit of green from Carabao. 5 goals, 2 penalties, 4 goals for Gordon, 1 for Chow. Second half, slightly different. We didn't really press until the end when Sulla and Neve were looking to score. They scored 54th minute, as you can see. And then we came back into it with when Murphy came on and he scored. Well played, the lads. Away. The away support was immense, around about 2,000 in the ground. Don't know how many others travelled without tickets. I'm sure there would have been a few. So the scenes at the end, the whole staff and players celebrating with the Toon Army. And then back in the studio, Shay Given, he'd run out of ink in his pen for all the superlatives that he was writing down about the Toon. And then their focus turned to the second leg at home and whether Eddie should put out a slightly different team. Personally, I don't think the injuries will allow us or the rotation, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Great win for the Toon. So that's your report on a great European night for Newcastle United. If you like this video, then please hit the like button. And if you wish to subscribe, which is absolutely free, then hit the subscribe button on YouTube or hit the follow button on TikTok. Final word report out tomorrow where we hear what Eddie and everybody else had to say. Good night, I'm Ken, this is Inside the Toon. This is the final word on Newcastle's playoff Champions League match, first leg, away in Baku against Carabao. 6-1 winners, get in. So here are the highlights from the match. Newcastle scored on 3 minutes. Anthony Gordon opened the scoring, and he gets in on the end of a forward move and finish with composure to give Newcastle the early lead. Dan Burn provided the pass. On 8 minutes, Malik Chow rose hit the far post from a corner and headed it in. Kieran Trippier assisted. 32nd minute, Newcastle were awarded a penalty for handball after VAR took a look at it, and Anthony Gordon slotted it in with ease. And just as you were celebrating the third goal, the fourth goal came along, of course. Gordon beat the defender who made a slight mistake to the ball and took it round past the goalie and calmly put it in the net, putting Newcastle firmly in control by the end of the first half. 45th minute, +1, of course. Gordon completed his incredible first half haul, converting another penalty after being brought down in the box. And that was 4 goals in 45 minutes. Dominating this match we are, which is an understatement. In the 54th minute, Carabao got one back. Could Pope have done better, maybe, but tight angle and the guy scored. 72nd minute, Newcastle made it 6-1. Jacob Murphy had come on, added the 6, and his effort looping over the keeper to cap off a memorable scoreline in Baku. Key player, obviously, and man of the match, and he took the ball home as well, Anthony Gordon. Incredible tally for him this season, and he's he's a top-class player in Europe now. Eddie was all smiles like the rest of us after the match, paid tribute to the team. He said we were really good in the first half, and that's as good as we've played in a long time. Eddie went on to say that in the second half he wanted to keep up the momentum. However, Carabao changed and played lower on the pitch, which meant it was more difficult for us overall. However, it was a great day, wasn't it? On Anthony Gordon, superlatives, really. He was really good in the first half. He started to press. A number of goals came from his attitude off the ball, indeed. So just before half-time, when the second penalty came along, Trippier and Gordon had a little spat. It was to do with who was going to take the penalty. Gordon, designated penalty taker, said, "It's me." I think Trippier wanted Big Nick to take it, but ultimately that wasn't the case. After the match, it was friends reunited. Trippier said, "All the players are waiting to take a penalty, but also Gordon's our penalty taker. He wants to score goals as everyone else does, but ultimately he's the penalty taker." Emotions run high when you're on the pitch, but you know, it is what it is. Indeed, Trips. In reply, Gordon had this to say: "I understand everyone's opinion because I want everyone to succeed with a team. We should be in it together, but I am an attacker. I am the penalty taker, so I want to score as many goals as possible." So Trippier and Gordon walked off into the sunset hand in hand. So let's take a look at the stat attack now, and they're still friends. So expected goals, XG, 5.56. My God. Big chances, 13. So we scored 6. Total shots, 22. What else? Shots on target, 14. Block shots, 5. Shots inside the box, 18. Shots outside the box, 4. Yeah, dominant really, aren't we? Well, the players, the staff, the fans in the ground were united. So were the YouTubers. And they were all happy people. Alice gave her independent review and said the Prem teams are another level in Europe. No doubt about that. Toon review, the Blitz of Baku. And Robstein, record breaking. And Adam P in the ground, celebrating away. Historic night in Baku, he said. And he wasn't wrong. We all like a picture, so here's the team before the game kicked off. I can't find a celebration picture afterwards. Maybe that didn't happen, but you can see all the staff and players in the picture in the bottom right-hand corner, celebrating with the fans. And the picture above is just celebrating just after the whistle's gone and shaking a few hands. So 3 wins on the bounce for Newcastle, all away: Spurs, Villa, now Carabao. So thank you for watching my match series. I love doing these. I'll continue to do them. And the next matchup is Man City, Saturday evening, 8 p.m. away in Manchester. Take care, everyone. I'm Ken, and this is Inside the Toon.